Hello and welcome to Lockdown Mathematics. Today we're going to be looking at some past papers for trigonometry. This is a series that's going to be running over the next couple of days. We'll be tackling some trial papers, some November papers, and any other papers that I have at my disposal. Okay, so with the first question we're going to look at and where students can score marks is at simplification. In simplification, the first thing you should do is identify variables that can be simplified and keep the brackets, right? And whenever you're studying, make notes and reasons and jot them on the side so that it will help you in the long run in case you do forget. It's a good habit to adopt as well. Okay, so we know that sine of 90 is a co-ratio, and therefore you're going to get the opposite of it being a cos in this case. In this case, it's a positive cos because it lies in the positive cos region. Okay, I mean the positive sine region. Okay, here we got sine of 180 plus y, and that becomes minus sine y. If you look at your reduction formulae quadrants, and then here what we do is because we're so used to having sine and cos of some number minus theta, we tend to mess this part up. And what you do here is you're going to reverse the roles. You're going to put the 360 where the y is and the y where the 360 is and pull out negative 1. And so that's exactly what I did here. We know that cos of any negative angle theta is equals to 0. I mean, cos of any negative angle theta is cos of that angle. Okay. Right, and that's the same thing what I just said over here. Right, this is cos of theta equals cos of negative theta equals cos theta. Okay, so cos y becomes cos y, that comes down. This negative here times the negative from here will make this become a positive. This become positive cos y. That negative is still here for negative sine x, negative sine y. And notice that on the top and the bottom we have compound angle formulae. And so we can rewrite those expressions in terms of some compound angle. So here you got sine and cos, cos and sine, so it's a sine compound angle, and therefore the sine will remain the same. And here you got cos cos, so it's a cos compound angle, and you'll change the sign. So here you got a negative, and that becomes a positive, and sine over cos will give you tan. Right, so that's a fairly simple example. Right? Remember that you can score marks, majority of your marks, by doing the steps. We're not asking you to get the final answer correct. The final answer only amounts to 1 mark. I'd rather get the steps right and get 4 out of 6 or 5 out of 6 instead of getting 1 out of 6 by getting a final answer. So just do as much steps as you can, even if you can't get the final answer. You can still get close to 60-70% of points. So work hard in that portion of this section, right? Okay. The next thing we're going to look at is a proof. And here you got cos of a plus b. And we want to prove that is equal to cos a cos b minus sine a sine b. So all you're going to do is you're going to take out a negative from the b and times it by a negative b, which still gives you plus b. Right, so we haven't changed the equation, we just rewrote it in a different way. Right, so look at this note here. So the next thing you use is compound angle formulae. So you got a cos, so you're going to get a cos cos, sine sine, and because you got a negative between them, this middle sign will change to a positive. We said cos of any negative angle b is going to give you positive cos b, and sine of any negative angle will give you negative sine b. So that's how you prove the right hand side. Okay, so moving on, we're going to look at the graphing type questions, or that's how I would like to call them. And that's whenever they give you some trig ratio or some restriction, and they tell you write it in terms of some variable, let's say x, y, z, a, d, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so what you're going to do is the first step is you want to sketch. You get a mark for this. So do it, get a mark, it's an easy mark to get. and it will help you. Once you finish the sketch, you basically got full marks because everything's on the sketch and your entire answer can be found. And so here, the sine of P is A over 1, which is opposite of our hypotenuse. So if I draw a quadrant and I draw a right angle triangle like this, opposite my angle P, I got A and my hypotenuse is 1. And so using theorem of Pythagoras, I can work out what x is, and that will give me the negative of the square root of 1 minus a squared, because this lies in the negative x-axis. Right, and that's how I got this, right? But don't forget the negative, right? After you do theorem of Pythagoras, look at which side of the axis it lies, positive or negative. Right. And so as homework, I'd like y'all guys to find cos P, cot P. I want y'all to find cosec P. I want sec P, and I want tan P. Alright, so until we meet again, if you have any problems with this, please drop me a like and comment and subscribe, and I'll be happy to look at your problem. I'll post a video as soon as possible. Just send me a link if you have to, if you have a problem that you're unsure of. And yes, I continue to make more videos, and I hope to deliver them on time to you. And I hope this video was of help and will help you for your exams. So until we meet again, goodbye.